Welcome to Bruno's MMA show. Here I am today with our first guest, Haim Gozali, Bellator fighter and Bellator Israel producer.
Yeah. Hi, what's up?
Well, here's the thing. I'm a long-time Batman fan, and just like you, my passion started with the Tim Burton Batman 1989 movie, right?
Yeah, 89.
Yeah.
So I was like in 89, I was like 16 years old. I was living in Brooklyn, New York back then. And the movie came out, everybody talk about it. Prince was the soundtrack back then, so the soundtrack came out before the movie. So we bought the record, and stuff like the CD. And we said, let's go to the movie. We went to the first movie, the first time the broadcast in the cinema. So we went, and back then there was no rules. Everybody go to the cinema. They put everybody inside. The cinema was full. We're like standing up. Nobody's sitting. Everybody's sitting, seeing the movie, standing up. You know, and I fall in love with Batman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the movie that basically, even though, of course, I love Adam West, but Adam West was its own take for its own time, and for the longest time, people thought of Batman just as this comedy character almost, and that was the movie that kind of told people, no, no, he like it is a comic book, but it can also be edgy. It can be like cool in a different way.
yeah. Tim Burton took the real, the Batman, the character, and make it like the Dark Knight. Like something dark, not like a comedy show. Like Adam West was a comedy show. Like they say the comedy.
Yeah,
It was like in '66. I don't remember what years. So something like that. But
yeah,
back then they do the all the movies and stuff like that was like different. So they make it like a comics book, like comic books in TV. So everything was like funny. Everything was like a lot of color, and stuff. And if
yeah,
you see the series, Batman was in the morning over there, not even the night. So like you
yeah,
see him driving in the morning with the Batmobile and stuff like that,
yeah. Mm,
and the original Batman is supposed to be come at night, the shadows and stuff like that. So it was funny. I never saw all the series, I never saw it, but I saw it, but not all the episode. So the
mhm.
other episode I missed, but you know, I,
Likewise, actually, I have to admit, I have not seen all of the episodes actually, but
yeah, me too, me too, me too.
huh,
Yes,
that's
it's too much. It's not like if you like Batman, like the hardcore Batman, the dark Batman, you cannot see that. It's like
I
it's
think no.
comedy. It's too much comedy for me. I cannot see that. I like the dark. The come at night. Fighting. The ninjutsu, jiu-jitsu. What he's doing. The sword, the staff, the all the weapon and stuff like that. Oh my God, it was like, you know,
Well, there's
kill that.
something. Here's the thing, though. I have a theory. I have a theory, and I argue with people a lot with this. And I argue that of all the live-action Batman, I'm not talking about the actors. I'm not talking about the actual choreography. I mean, in story, I would say that Batman '66 is one of the toughest ones in the story
In the
because
story.
armor and still does it.
Yeah.
This defense. No, but I think and that show. Before we get on to discussing the fight scenes in the movies and all that, I think in the defense of the show, what a lot of people don't realize is the Adam West show did save Batman comics at the time, so it also has its own value. And I think Batman changes with the times, and I think that's a really important aspect of the character for him to remain pertinent and modern. And the same way that the Adam West show saved the Batman comics at the time, the sales were down until the show arrived. The Tim Burton movie saved Batman's image as a Dark Knight, as you were saying, and the Dark Knight Returns comic had come out maybe 3 years before, I think, in '86, and that was the whole revolution of like, look at how dark Batman can be and all that.
Yeah.
Which I gotta ask you though, because in these five things we're gonna see different types of Batman, and I gotta ask you, what do you think about Batman killing or not?
But Batman what?
Should Batman kill? That's a
Kill?
that's a big argument. That's
Uh, I don't think so. It looked like it's like something like from the beginning. But he killed. If you see the Dark Knight Return #2, he killed the Joker. So
He paralyzes him.
no, he
Okay,
killed him over there. He killed him.
he breaks his neck, but he stops short, and then the Joker
No.
like twisted in Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
Dark Knight Return #2 in the how do you call it? Like in the took him to the amusement park over there and he killed him inside.
The love tunnel. Yeah, that.
So he killed. No, okay, but this is a different Batman. But yeah, it's nice like that. That he never kill. Like he's going with the justice and everything. It's not like killing people and stuff like that. But it's nice. Stay like that. Don't kill.
I think that was. We'll get to. Okay, I think we'll save some of that for the fight scenes because it'll be pertinent in the fight scenes themselves. I think that in some of them he does kill people, and we'll be able to discuss it more in detail. Before we start, though, I want to talk about your awesome T-shirt. I don't know if we can have a closer look at the camera. Yes, the Gozali show. So
this is the Gozali show. We did it in Bellator 234. Me and Aviv fought on the same card on the same main event. So the first time like a father and son fighting in a main event in a major organization.
Yes.
So they call me the Israeli Batmans, and Aviv is the Flash because in his first fight in Bellator he went with the Flash mask, and after 2 fights he broke the world record as the fastest submission. So they did this T-shirt with Aviv like wearing the Flash, and I'm with the Batman mask. So if you see the faces when you see the T-shirt, it's my face inside of the Batman mask, and it's his face inside of the Flash mask. So it's nice,
I did recognize the goat. Yes.
Yeah, see if you can see, it's me inside.
We're Batman.
It's
people.
My face.
Okay, so so your background martial arts. Let me know if I missed something. I understood it. Of course, Henso Gracie, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, karate, ninjutsu. So that's interesting because ninjutsu, as we'll go into the Christopher Nolan movies with Christian Bale, like ninjutsu plays a big part in the story for Batman in those movies. So I'll also defer to you a lot in when it comes to disarming of weapons. So like in some scenes, Batman will disarm rifles. I don't know if you'll be able to help me a little bit with that because as far as rifles go, I'm a bit lost. I don't have much know-how there. So anyway, I think let's get started. In the first scene, so we're gonna tell the viewers what scenes we'll be talking about because to avoid any copyright strikes, we're not gonna be showing it on the screen. But the first one will be from the Batman 1966 movie, and it's the submarine fight, the fight on top of the submarine with all of the Batman villains from that movie. Robin is helping him, of course, because it's the 66 version of Batman. He always goes with Robin. So I'll let you go ahead. Tell me what were your thoughts?
And this scene is also fighting all the villains together, like
the
Joker, the Penguin, the Catwoman, the what do you got over here? I just seen the scene now over here. With Robin fighting everybody, Riddler, everybody's over here. I think it's the first time that Batman fighting everybody together.
Adam West was a tough Batman. People laughed because he was, well, colorful, but look at all the villains he's fighting at the same time.
Yeah, everybody. I see everybody's over here. So, this scene is like typical for 66, It's like a comedy. When you punch somebody, so you see punch, like a comics book. And yeah, it's like everything is like boom, boom. I don't see, I can see that, but I don't hear the soundtrack, what they're talking about and what they're doing over there. But everybody fall to the ocean over here.
There's no like big dialogue like with Bane that we'll discuss later. But look, I'll say something I like about this. Okay, I'm gonna mention one thing. I think it's done right, if you will. There's many attackers and they keep moving. So I think that's actually, if I have to go, okay, there's one thing they did right is if you have many attackers, you don't like stay waiting like Keaton's Batman does a little bit, where Keaton's Batman maybe
No,
stays there.
if you're fighting a couple of people, you have to be fast and move. You know, you cannot stay in one place because they're gonna
Yeah.
surround you. But
So
over here, you know, I see him also fighting with sword, but he's fighting like I don't know the name of it in English, but he's fighting like you know, like a
fencing, yeah.
musketeer, not like a Japanese version of fighting. You know,
Yeah.
it's like fighting the I don't know how to say it, like in
Well,
the
European,
Olympic with the fighting with the sword. How do they call it? The name of it?
but it's the European style with the cutlass, I
Yeah,
think.
Europeans. Yeah, European style. You know, like with oh God, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like the Musketeer. You know, the team Musketeer, something like that. So Batman fighting over here like that. Everybody's missing. You know, like it's like a comedy. You know, some punching. He's like moving. Everybody's missing. And the end, the Catwoman push Batman into the ocean. So
The water, that's the defeated.
yeah, he's like standing and she's coming from the back and like pushing him like a kid.
The sneaky one. One thing, okay, okay, let's see. I have a few notes here. One thing I noticed, and we'll go back to that with Keaton too, by the way. I noticed some similarities with Keaton's fighting style and Adam West. So I noticed that Adam West often, when he has many attackers, just like crouches and they hit each other because he crouches. Like he stays there and it's like they don't see him anymore. They just swing. So this is a Batman who crouches a lot in a fight to let the enemies hit each other.
Yeah,
No, when he crouches. I haven't seen one.
yeah, because you know everybody that fell into the ocean, she splish, splash, splish, splush. You know, like put in like a comics book.
Yeah.
And well, I see she also pushed Robin to the ocean.
Yeah.
You know,
She's
she's pushing everybody to the ocean. So the Catwoman was winning this fight.
You have a
But you
point
know,
there.
yeah, but it's funny. It's funny to watch it. You know, I don't see her over here like fighting style or something. You know, you can see that nobody know how to fight over there.
I see
And the punch,
one move. I saw one move actually. There's one kick that Robin throws that looks decent, and that I think Burt Ward was a black belt in Taekwondo back in the day. Like his punches are like all wild, but I think I see.
you know this story about Bruce Lee and Robin over. You heard about it?
Yes, but I want you to mention it. You're the guest. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it was like the Green Hornet came because of the Batman show.
Crossover. Yes.
So Bruce Lee all the time said that Robin doesn't know how to fight, and I can kick his ass. I can kick his ass, and then they do like a together show, you know, Batman and Green Hornet together in the same episode.
Yeah.
So Robin was afraid all the time that Bruce Lee is gonna beat him, you know. You saw this? I saw it in a documentary or something.
That Bruce Lee just looked at Burt Ward like, because Burt Ward kind of went and said, "Oh, I have a black belt in Taekwondo," and he was kind of talking as if that was the equal of whatever Bruce Lee had. I think I don't want to be unfair to Burt Ward. Maybe that's not exactly what happened, but apparently Bruce Lee took it the wrong way, and the whole time he would look at Burt Ward like he wanted to fight him. And Adam West said that, which I can understand. Yeah, and Robin was supposed to win that fight, and Bruce Lee said no way. So they ended up doing a draw in the scene. I remember they said. So apparently Robin was supposed to beat
Robin was supposed to win, but Bruce Lee didn't want it. You know, he said never. He's not gonna win. He's gonna beat me, even if it's a show. So they make it a draw or something like that. I have this episode in my computer, man.
It was a cool one. Yeah. Can you imagine though if they had kept it that Robin wins and we have footage of Burt Ward, even if it's fictional? Like, can you imagine if you had footage of after Chuck Norris, you have Burt Ward beating Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee was never gonna let it happen, you know.
So before we move on to the other ones, there's one thing I want to mention. I like what the Penguin does. First of all, this Adam West Batman uses a lot of his environment. That's nice. Parts of the boat, he uses them to fight back. And he, as you mentioned, he knows some fencing, European style, but I think Batman should know all of the fencing styles. And what I like is the Penguin throws a headbutt at Batman when they're fencing. They go up close, and the Penguin headbutts him. I thought it was a smart move from the Penguin. Like up close.
It was nice. Now I'm watching the other scene. The Batman Return one.
So to give context to the viewers, now we're going to talk about the Batman Returns scene where the first fight scene where he fights the Red Circle gang. The reason why I went with Batman Returns for this is because in the Batman '89 movie, by the time we have a long fight scene with Batman, it's right after he crashed with the plane in the cathedral, and he's really all messed up. So maybe it wasn't him at his prime. So let's go with the scene where he comes out fresh off the Batmobile. So go ahead, tell me what you think.
First of all, because of his suit over there, the Batman suit, he cannot move. Yeah, so when you see him like moving, like, so think about it. The guy who like teach him how to fight, you need to teach somebody that move like that, So he cannot move. He doesn't have, all this shoulder and his neck. Everything was together, The mask was like with the shoulder and everything. So you need to move like that. So everything is moving. He's moving all his body, So you have to face the guy. If it's real, Batman they're gonna kill Batman in like 5 seconds, But
no, never.
Real. But it's not real. So I see him fighting Also, I don't see it. Trying to watch it. I don't see too much in this fight because he doesn't fight too many people. He's using a weapon over here and stuff like that to win. Yeah. But let me see the fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be now.
I noticed no one is wrapped tape yet.
Yeah, so he took two people like that and like
headbutt. Lift them.
On the ground. And also over here, when he's trying to move, so he's like ducking down.
He also ducks.
I think it's looking like a karate move, when he's fighting over here. He's standing, it's like karate and stuff like that. Probably because his body cannot move too much.
Yeah.
And using also the elbows,
Yes, I noticed.
Yeah.
One thing I like is there's a moment when someone, I think, swings something at him, and he's keeping the hands up, and that was the first Batman we saw that he would use the bracers to block stuff coming at him, and that's actually something that makes a lot of sense because even in self-defense, when someone has a knife or something, you want to go and block, and so that was the first Batman we see that he keeps his hands up.
Yeah, so it's blocked like that. I think also the fight scenes, because he cannot move too much, so he's using like that. I see him duck a lot.
Yeah, then he's
too much. But it's standing up. It's like looking like karate and stuff like that. And also he's punching with this, It's like punching with his hand, and he move. He's moving like slowly. Cannot move too much.
Had a lot of work to do there. I like that Batman for once uses the headbutt instead of being headbutted like in the previous video. If he has a cowl, it makes a lot of sense for him to be headbutting people with that thing.
Yeah, let me see again. So he punched him. And then everybody's like coming to him. He's ducking.
Yeah.
And every move like he's moving, Okay, so the King also. Also, this suit was, I saw also the documentary and stuff like that. This suit was difficult to work with, He couldn't move inside. He couldn't breathe inside. Everything, everything was slowly. But I see they like found the way to let him fight, But also the duck over here, when he's ducking, it's also like in the Adam West, it's too much.
No one throws knees when he ducks.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff over there that I can see the standing of karate, stuff like that. The blocking like that, The kicking is like a karate kick, Also. So I think like all this fighting over here, it's like looking like karate, and then he's got jiu-jitsu when the guy is coming to stab him, he's like moving, taking his head down.
That's right. He does a throw, right? Or oh no, I'm getting confused with a note from later for another fight scene. There's one thing I wanted to ask you. He does something, and with also the Robin from the previous fight scene did that. The whole, I never even tried to do that to someone in the gym or whatever, but he grabs someone's wrist and just goes like this, and the person flips.
It's a move from jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. They don't use it anymore, but they use it in Aikido more. When you're using the guy weight and move, when he's coming to you and stuff like that, you're using his force and move. to flip him away. Aikido use it until today, but I don't think it's gonna work on real life. If somebody gonna come to you, you have to break his hand and punch him. Everything's supposed to be hard and strong. You cannot flip
Yeah,
nobody
no,
like in the air like that.
thing is not.
But if you're doing like a show, like a jiu-jitsu show, I'm not talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about jiu-jitsu. And if you're doing like Aikido, so they use it a lot, like using the force of the guy and, flip him, when he's coming to you, use his force, move to the side, and everything is like round. So it's something like that.
Well, it looks good for a movie, I guess. It's yeah.
Yeah, for movie, it's good. It's nice. You can see that it's good. You can see it like slowly, so like it's flow, the fight scenes, like the guy's coming, you're moving, you're standing. It looking good. It look good in the camera. I don't think it's gonna work on real life, but not gonna work on real life. Nobody can do that. But you
No
can
one
practice
does.
it all your life.
That's not.
You can practice all your life, but you're never gonna do it for real.
Yeah. No, I don't think they would. No, I don't think so. Now we're going to move on to the. I mean, unless you have another observation regarding Keaton's fighting there.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So now for
you have to remember those fights also. Was the old days. Like back in the 90s. So the action movie was different than today.
Yeah. Did you see the John Wick movies?
Yeah, of course. John Wick is good. The fight scenes is like realistic. A lot of jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like a lot of like Muay Thai, and like they took like a mixed martial art. Take it like a MMA. If they took the MMA, they took all the stuff from the MMA and use it in the fight. So after we finish, I think that the last scene is the most realistic one. I'm going to talk about it when we get there. The last scene that you sent me is the most realistic one for fighting, But now we're in Christian Bale, no?
Yes, and so we chose in Dark Knight Strikes Again the rematch with Bane. I didn't choose the first fight because in the first fight Bruce just came out of retirement, was rusty. Psychologically, he was not in the game. And as you're an MMA fighter, I imagine what I thought was really interesting in Dark Knight Strikes Again, before we mention maybe the fight itself, is how the importance they put on the mindset when you go into battle, which I think is something that maybe a lot of people skip over Dark Knight Strikes Again, because we're talking about a Batman whose mindset is not where it should be to go into battle, and Alfred points it out. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on that as an MMA fighter, how important that can be.
Yeah, of course. If your body is not in good shape, you cannot fight, And the first fight, he came after retirement. He didn't fight for a long time. He's got a knee problem and stuff like that. And then he come for a young guy, and he's great shape and great punchers and everything. And he's supposed to fight him. Of course, he's gonna lose. The second one is like, you don't see it in the movie a lot, but you figure it out when he's like fixing himself over there in the prison and stuff like that. So it's like coming back
mentally as well.
Yeah, mentally and in good shape and stuff like that. And he know who he's supposed to fight. So he know what to do already. Doesn't know how to win, but he know the fighting style, everything. So he's changing everything, It's not like the first fight. You don't know who's fighting for. You're fighting, so everything is like, and don't forget, it's not a cage fight. It's like a real fight. It's supposed somebody can die, So the fight can take all kind of, you cannot predict what's going to happen, So the second fight, they meet. So first of all, he's fighting a couple of people on the streets over there. So he's doing like a judo throw. That's also jiu-jitsu throw, everything. Yeah, with the hips and the hand is like that. So it's nice for him.
Feet when he did that, I guess because the guy was running at it. Was that? What do you think of that throw that he does before he gets to Bane? Did you notice it or?
I'm not watching it. He coming to Bane. Yeah, this is the throw that I talk about. The hip throw with the hand and like that, and using his hip and throw the guy. Yeah, now I see it. Yeah, it's like a jiu-jitsu throw, a judo throw. You can use it in wrestling and everything. He's using his hip He's using everything. He's catching the guy from over here like that, and like with the hip, he's throwing away. And then he's standing next to Bane. And now the fight is start, For the first Batman, something I didn't understand why they do the same. The first Batman, the Batman Begin, so also his suit was like heavy and stuff like that. He couldn't move. So they also use a lot of elbow. So also a documentary about it that they said because it's a suit like that, so they use like a fighting with a lot of elbow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The second movie and the third movie, the suit was different. It was lighter. He can move his head and everything, but he's still using the elbow. Over in Bane fight, he's still using this. He's fighting like too much, like close distance with the elbow. He can fight like that, punching. But I don't know why they don't do that. They're still using the same fighting program that they're using in the Batman Begin. And all the Christian Bale Batman, the Bane one was the worst fighting scenes ever. I don't know why. There's a lot of scenes that you see that Batman doesn't touch nobody and like kicking and nobody's even.
Yeah, the knee,
I don't
Bane throws the
understand.
knee, and you see the knees like this far. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they do over there. All this, the first two movie was great fighting scenes. The third one was, I don't know, a lot of bullshit stuff. But now I'm still watching the scene.
One thing
Standing a lot of punching. The punching, it's like bare knuckle fight. There's not a lot of kicking, not a lot of stuff. They're standing against each other and like punching and punching, moving, punching. He's punching him. Everything like. And Batman still blocking with the elbow. So I don't understand why they did it. Because he can move over. He can move more lightly.
Yeah.
What?
I have a question because there's things from I think it was called the K-Say fighting system, the one they use for those movies, or something like that. And you often see moves where they come down, like I saw in K-Say, like they come down with the elbow and stuff like that. And what I found, and look, I'm deferring to you regarding the fight scenes. Obviously, you have a lot more experience than I ever will, I think. And but some things that bugged me, and I can also be corrected if I'm wrong. You didn't mention the elbows. I feel like sometimes Batman would throw elbows from very far away, where he might have been better served like with a punch or a kick. And one thing I didn't like also, and let me know if I'm wrong, at some point Bane throws a punch at him, and what Batman does is he goes with two hands, he blocks down the punch with both hands, so he's go 2-on-1, and Bane doesn't throw with the other hand, and Batman comes back up like kind of like with both hands. And I think if someone did that, like the other hand would right away hit them on the head.
For sure. Yeah. You never can block with two hands.
For those movies, that was the whole selling point of Batman's fighting style since Batman Begins, was that this was a more realistic fighting style. So I don't know if you agree with that, or if you think it's just as let's call it cinematic as the other ones.
I'm telling you that even for a movie, the fighting style is changing for the angle of the camera and stuff like that. But in this movie, I don't understand why they do what they do.
Yeah.
Everything is looking like not good. When I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just watching it. And everything is like it's like a bare knuckle fight. Nobody kick. Nobody do nothing. And suddenly Bane headbutt to the chest. Stuff like never gonna happen. If you're gonna headbutt somebody, gonna headbutt to the face. It's headbutting to the chest. And
it worked like for the soccer player. What was his name in around 2005?
Zinedine Zidane in the Mondial. No, the final game. It's headbutting somebody to the chest and something like that. So the only good thing that Bane is like one of his I don't know what they call it, break. So he start to punch, and like he's punching, and Batman moving is like still punching, And Tom Hardy know how to punch. It's look good, So it's look good, but Batman is like moving and stuff like that, and then Batman throw a kick him to the door, and Bane fall to the floor, and then Batman kick him to the ribs.
Yeah. So
I don't like this scene. I don't like these scenes. I think.
No, neither. But But the
Yeah,
door
yeah.
that I think it looked like it was an actual kick, even though maybe the
I
motion was.
tell you something. When I see something, nothing look real in this in
Yeah.
this scene. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Agreed. And I was waiting to see what you would say. Oh yeah. Okay. One last thing about that one before we move on to the one that I think we both like the best, if I'm not mistaken. But you know that when Batman kicks Bane into the room, there's a soldier that arrives with a rifle, and Batman
Yeah.
didn't really. I tried to see it a few times. I don't know a lot about rifle disarming. I
Oh,
don't know if.
it's like when you grab a rifle, you see
Yeah.
like that. When I'm moving your hand when the rifle like that, so your hand is like, you see what happened? It's like locking. You lock my hand when I gonna catch even a gun, and somebody gonna move my hand like that, so the gun is gonna lock my hand. So it's the same with the rifle. You stand like that, and you're gonna catch the rifle from over here and bring him over here. So my hand is gonna be like that. So I have to leave the rifle. If not, I'm gonna break my hand. So that's what happened. That's a good thing. You can do that.
Yeah, but do they do it right in that scene, or did the guy just kind of like did he just grab it in the scene?
Oh,
Yeah.
you grab it like that and
Yeah.
move it to the
Okay.
side. No, yeah. I
That
think
one.
I'm right. No, I can watch it if I'm. I think
I
I'm
don't know.
right. Let me see.
Look at it,
No,
and I couldn't from the angle. It was hard to tell, but maybe it's impossible to tell from the angle. But it's. I was just wondering because I think you do have some experience also with rifles, right?
yeah, of course. I was
Yeah.
in the army.
Yeah.
Today it's the Memorial Day of Israel. All the soldiers and stuff like that dying for Israel. So today it's the Memorial Day, Memorial Night now.
Okay.
In Israel, Memorial Day, it's not like in the States that everybody's partying. Over here, it's like all the country shut down. Everybody's like, no business open or nothing. Everybody's like, give the respect for the people until tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. So look,
Yeah, that's not
yeah.
today. So
Well,
now we're in the last scene.
coming today. Okay, so look, all that said, I think from what I heard before, I think we're moving on to both our favorite fight scene, right? The one we both prefer, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy, but nobody liked the Ben Affleck version of Batman. I think only me in the whole world. I like the Ben Affleck version. You know why? Because it's supposed to be the Dark Knight, and if somebody know the comics and stuff like that, the Dark Knight's supposed to be old and big
Yeah.
and moving slowly and not like lightly and like So he's playing the Dark Knight the way it's. I saw it in the comics on the Dark Knight Return 1 and 2. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be big Batman, moving like more slowly. Doesn't fast. He doesn't do stuff fast like he used to do. So it's look good, and the fight scenes great. I don't think nobody. I don't think people watch the fight scenes. Everybody was like, don't like because everybody has their own version of Ben Affleck, idea when he's supposed to play in different movie and stuff like that. So nobody like it because he played the Batman. I didn't see it. I see him play the Batman the way I wanted to play the Batman. So for me, it was good. So even the fight scenes, you can see a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of Muay Thai, a lot of
Mhm.
MMA. Let's say MMA. Let's call it the MMA. You see a lot of mixed martial arts, a lot of takedowns, a lot of stuff. You see him on the ground punching people. It's supposed to be,
Oh,
and
yeah. I did make a note of that moment, though. I did make a note of that because, um, well, first of all, we're talking about of course, the warehouse scene in Batman v Superman when Batman goes to save Martha. And because you brought it up, at first I was one of the people who didn't want Ben Affleck to be Batman, but I thought he did a great job, and I didn't want Heath Ledger to be Joker. So when they announced Robert Pattinson as the next Batman, I told myself, you know what? I've been wrong twice now. I'm gonna really wait and see because I've been wrong twice about the casting. They were really good. One thing that I had trouble with this Batman is how many people he kills casually, And I know that Michael Keaton's Batman would kill, but I think that was a different time when comic book movies didn't have to be exactly like the comics to the dot. And Ben Affleck's Batman, I thought he was really good. I thought he looked amazing. He looked like a comic book Batman. He looked like he can kick anyone's ass. That's what you want Batman to look like. You don't want him to look like a guy who's just fit. You want him to look like someone who can kick anyone's ass, no questions asked. But
That's what.
yeah, but there's moments. For example, there's a guy who takes out like the grenade to throw at
I just
Batman.
now saw it.
So what I think
Yes.
is, I understand Batman would not let himself be killed. So I would understand if he threw a batarang and then the grenade drops and the bad guy dies. But that's kind of like Batman was just defending himself. But that's not what he does. He kicks another bad guy into the explosion. So that the little details like that for me were just a little. I still really like Ben Affleck's Batman, but in the writing they made him maybe a bit too murder happy. I find like for Batman, if it was a
When if you saw the Dark Knight Return 1 and 2, so this is the way he played.
yeah,
I believe he saw this. I believe he saw the cartoon before that. I believe the guy that made the movie and stuff like that saw the cartoon and then built Batman to be like the Dark Knight supposed to be. And over there in the Dark Knight Return, he fought over there against Superman. The same. So they took the same Batman, the same stuff, and that's the way he played, and it's good. I don't understand how people say, it's not good. We like Christian Bale better. Christian Bale play a different movie, a different way of Batman, like more realistic Batman. Try to do it like more in our days, like if Batman was supposed to be, But I want to see the real Batman, the comics one, not if Batman was supposed to be today. I don't care if Batman's supposed to be today. I need to see the comics character, So if you're doing the Dark Knight, it was supposed to be heavy, strong, and killing people because the Dark Knight kill people,
Yeah, but I think there's like an in between where, not to go too far away from the talk of the fight, but I think there's an in between where he will kill people, but maybe kind of like a last resort. Whereas sometimes it felt like it was very like he would just do it, like. For example, when he saves Martha and he kills the bad guy, I understand that. Martha was in danger. He has to save the hostage. Of course, he killed the bad guy. But there's other moments where it felt like, he could have done it another way. That's just for me, as someone who's in between the kill or no kill, I think he can kill, but that was the point of the movie, though. So, whether we like it or not, or that was the whole point, that Batman was really old, tired, burned out, and he was really more aggressive. And you mentioned the ground and pound, and that was actually something I wrote down a few notes, and I thought it was interesting. This is a really angry, aggressive Batman. And when he does the ground and pound, when there's still other attackers around, that was actually a mistake that cost him, because then he gets attacked from behind, because he's not just with one single opponent. So everything in the fight scene, you could see that this was an angry Batman.
Yeah, it looked like it. Also, this fight scenes, but over there he's fighting. You see him move, punching, kicking, jumping. Not like the other scenes we talk about. That over there he's like standing, like that. Over here he's like moving, jumping, going from side to side. Punch the guy. Now I see he's punching the guy and somebody shoot him in the head. But all this suit is like
him out, even if
bulletproof. It's a bulletproof suit, so he shoot him. So if it's real life, no Batman.
Oh yeah.
Over because his suit is like bulletproof. So you shoot him in the head. So that's what you're talking about. When you punch somebody on the floor in real life, you have to see that nobody is after you. If you fight him with Robin, so you can punch somebody on the floor because Robin take your back, but over here he's by himself. So his tech is, and he's also fighting from the ground. You never saw Batman fighting from the ground, So over here you see him fighting from his back, Not like a jiu-jitsu fight, but, he's punching people from the fight. He's stabbing people with knife, real knife. Not like boomerang knife or like Batman and stuff like that, And he's like evil, It's like you said, he's like strong. You come to the guy, he's like, put the knife inside of him, That's the Batman I want to see. I hope the new Batman is going to be something like that. Yeah. I hope the new Batman is going to be something like that. I don't understand DC. That every movie they change the actors, every movie they change inside. I don't understand. They cannot do like the Avengers, like stuck in with something, like 15 movie. I don't know how much 50 movie I think the Avengers did with the same actor. Nobody changed, nobody do. First Batman begin, the girl. I don't remember the actor girl, the name.
Oh my God, the
Second,
Tom Cruise ex-wife.
yeah. So I
Kate
don't, I
Holmes?
don't understand. The second movie, they changed the girl. You know,
Rachel Dawes was the character. Yeah.
you know, everything they're changing. Everything now that I heard the Superman is not going to continue. They want to bring the black Superman. Now
Henry
Batman doesn't continue. The Joker, we don't need to talk about the Joker. One killed himself. The other one didn't want to continue. They bring the new one. The new one was good. But I believe if the old one from the how do you call the movie from Suicide Squad, I think
Jared
that
Leto.
was great. That was crazy Joker.
I
This
liked him.
one was
I did like him.
that was a crazy Joker. This is the same Joker from the Dark Knight. You understand that?
Yeah.
I think I think that they're trying to do because of this movie, Superman against Batman. They bring Batman like the Dark Knight. The Suicide Squad, Batman is still playing over there. When he catch the Joker and Harley Quinn and Deadpool. That when they cut the same Ben Affleck Batman. So I thought they want to do the Joker against Ben Affleck, like the Batman against the Joker, like in the Dark Knight. So suddenly this one doesn't want to continue. This one doesn't want to continue.
Yeah.
So they bring us a new Joker, a different version of Joker, something different. And now we have a different. We have also a different Batman. I don't understand. I don't know what Batman. How he's going to play the Batman. I hope it's going to be good. I don't want to talk about it, but it's probably going to be. I heard it's going to be the Batman Beyond, like the new Batman. I don't know.
They're going back younger, but like you, I prefer an older veteran Batman. Now they're going younger, kind of year one. So okay, I'll give it a chance. I know that I don't like the. I don't know if you've seen the suit that Robert Pattinson is going to wear.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like with the things on the, I didn't like. I felt like a step back because I feel like whatever people didn't like about the Ben Affleck movies and all that, like I think they like Ben Affleck. I think they like the suit. Whatever they didn't like was maybe regarding the thing that Zack Snyder did with the story, but the fight was amazing. Everyone agreed. So for them to do that kind of suit is like a step back. It's like they go, oh no, Batman has to be realistic, but you can't make Batman too realistic. Like I think.
No, people need to understand that the Batman against Superman and Justice League cannot be realistic, because people with superpower over there, superhero, Superman is flying, Wonder Woman is like flying, the Flash is like fast, and Aquaman is like in the water, so, so the movie is different. It cannot be like Christian Bale movie, because over there can do it like realistic, because nobody has superhero power, You don't understand? So people don't understand. This is the comics version of Batman, and the other one is also comics, but the other one was trying to make Batman like a real, like in a real life, So everything is like real over there.
I thought we were now moved on to the comic book one, and I'm kind of disappointed. If I want to give it a chance, I'm going to wait and see, and I'm sure it will probably be a really good movie. But I'm disappointed that the lesson they took was kind of, we got to go back to the more tactical looking suit, because the tactical suit is, it looks good. It's very realistic, but Batman doesn't look like a creature of the night anymore when you put him in that. He looks like someone who, it looks like a very practical suit, but if that guy comes out in an alleyway, you see, he's wearing like a tactical suit. It's not, this is a monster of the night coming at me. Like that's what I like about Ben Affleck's look is if that guy comes out of an alley at you, you're like, oh shit, Christian Bale is, if you in the context where you don't know who he is, you can kind of go like, this is a biker in his gear, like so.
It's a funny thing, there's a bike you can buy a Batman from the Batman like Christian Bale for a bike, Watch on the internet, put it, Batman suit for a bike. You see the same with the bag, like he jumped in the second movie when he jumped from the roof in Hong Kong and stuff like that. It's the same. I got it.
An
I got
awesome
it in
scene.
my old house. There was the bat cave that I built, but over here I didn't build. But in my new house, I'm gonna build
Broke my heart.
the bat cave again, and all the stuff of the bat cave is in my storage. Wait,
Ah,
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you two stuff I got over here.
please.
This is the only two things I have over here in my house. גם את הזה של הזה, הנשק. Yeah. So this one, they built for me. You see, this is from the new movie.
The with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like that. That's what I saw. So they built it for me and give it to me before my last fight in Bellator 234.
Who gave
this
you?
one? My opponent, because he knew I like Batman and he liked the Predator, so he brought it to me like a present before the fight. So I went with it to the Wayne.
Batman?
This one I got.
Awesome comic.
This one I got. I bought it.
Oh.
I think this is from the which movie?
Maybe George Clooney or Val Kilmer. I'm thinking.
Yeah, one of them.
Maybe Val Kilmer. You know when he throws it at the Riddler, he throws like a sonar battering. Maybe.
Yeah. This is the sonar.
I don't know.
Yeah. This is the sonar. But this one. So I bought it also. I think.
That was my favorite. No, it's not anymore.
So I got a lot of weapons. I got all the guns and stuff like that, but everything is in my storage now, waiting to be open. I got like thousands of comics books and stuff like that.
For this, I watched a few old interviews of yours, and in one of them they mentioned a Batcave that you had at your place, and I got all excited and I texted you. I'm like, "Do you still have a Batcave? Can we film you in that?" And you told me no. I moved. I was, okay.
Yeah, I move apartment. So the other one, I took a room. I built it like a cave. The wall was like a cave, not like a real wall. Everything was gray. The floor was black. Even the closet, you see a closet, you open the closet and then you see a mirror. You touch the mirror and they open it's another room, like a hidden room. It was crazy. It was like original bait cave. Everything was like, and there was the Bat Museum over there, like all the stuff that I'm collecting from when I was like in '89, a kid. So I got a lot of stuff from like, I got a lot of rare comics books. I got a lot of sword, from movies and stuff like that. I collect sword, And
Highlander back in the day.
Excuse me.
Highlander with Christopher Lambert. Did you watch it back in the day?
Highlander, yeah, of course.
That was good.
I like movies. I watch like a day at least 3 movies, at least. And this is the movie I like. All the movies.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was just wait, do you intend to do another Batcave now that you moved, or is that
no, I moved now, and now I moved and I don't have a lot of room in this house. Only 4 rooms, and I need like at least 6 for the Batcave. And now I'm moving like to a private house. So over there I'm gonna build the Batcave is gonna come back.
Okay,
but improve Batcave,
You have to show the world when that's ready. Maybe not the secret entrance. Keep that to yourself, but the inside you have to show when that's ready.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh my God. So basically, to kind of regarding the Ben Affleck Batman, just a few notes I have here. What I like is at some point when he's grabbing the soldier's gun, he didn't like. In movies, what bugs me, what drives me insane, is when the bad guy has a weapon and the hero kind of like blocks it and lets it go every single time. I'm like, what are you doing? Keep your hands on that, And the Ben Affleck Batman, that's like when he grabs hold of the gun, he doesn't let it go, which is what even if someone's punching you, like concentrate on the weapon, and he would always concentrate on.
Of course.
Yeah, that was good. Low kicks, that is very rare in movies. I find like Batfleck threw low kicks during the fights to trip people, and that was it was very satisfying because it felt like Batman. And there were some exaggerations, of course. At some point, he trips the guy just with his arm, and from
the of course, because it's supposed to be like that, It's a comics book, but all the fight scenes was good, He's using a lot of martial arts stuff, like a real martial arts stuff, not like bullshit ones, So he's punching people, he throwing them, he's doing like punching, he's doing like throwing, it's like, on the ground, he's fighting from his back, somebody's grabbing his cape and
Yeah,
push him down, also.
yeah,
This is the realistic stuff, It can
yeah.
happen. You cannot fight with, when you have like something like that, So also they use a lot of stuff, like this is the most great scenes, from all the scenes we talk about. This is the best one, I think. But also the movie world is like changing, all the time. So this is the new age of fighting,
Oh,
the new
yeah,
age of movie fighting,
yeah, yeah. So hopefully the next one will also deliver good scenes, and we're not gonna go back to older styles. I hope. Fingers crossed.
No, I
And
believe it. I believe it's not going to be all the stuff because, like I said, the movie, the martial art in movie is changing, changing, and changing, and become more, 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 more.
yeah.
So I think
Um,
it's going to be also, but I hope the actor is going to play good. I don't know.
yeah, they did.
I hope he's gonna.
And, finally, as a last thing, I wanted to ask you because you have experience in the military. You did ninjutsu, as I mentioned in the beginning. So it's kind of interesting because when we talk about Batman, how he should fight, and we're talking about the fight scene we saw. If someone were to come see you and you go, okay, Mr. Gozali, we need you to tell us. We're going to do a new Batman movie. Tell us how should Batman fight in this movie. What would you like to see? Be it military strategy or any sort of martial arts style that maybe we haven't seen, or not style, but
I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mix the new modern fight.
hmm?
It's like the MMA fight with the old ninjutsu fight, the weapon stuff and stuff like that. I'm gonna use it together, mix it together, and it's gonna be something new. Like you're gonna see the old stuff with the new stuff. You see, they're trying to do it with the Ben Affleck stuff. It's something similar. You're gonna see the ground, you're gonna see the up, you see everything, but everything gonna be realistic.
Mhm.
That can happen in real life. And I'm gonna use the comic stuff. Like people flying all over, but that's gonna be. But the fighting is gonna be the MMA fight, mixing with the old stuff, the ninjutsu stuff, because ninjutsu it's against knives and stuff like that, weapons. So you have to use weapon because everybody's gonna come attack Batman is gonna be with weapon. I don't believe somebody gonna come attack Batman with a bare knuckles
You
fights and
say
stuff like that. You
that.
know, I believe
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it good. You know,
yeah,
maybe I'll
yeah.
get a new job. Who knows?
Yeah, because that was interesting when I was looking at your resume. I didn't know you did ninjutsu, so I was like, oh, this is perfect because it was such an emphasis in the recent Batman movies. I was,
I'm a third degree in ninjutsu. Not like I just did ninjutsu. I'm a
oh,
black belt third degree black belt in ninjutsu.
yes,
I'm like doing ninjutsu for more than 20 years. Wow.
okay, yeah,
Before I even started jiu-jitsu, I did ninjutsu, because it
hmm,
was all my life when I started martial arts, the only thing I wanted to be is a ninja. I was 6 years old, saw the movie Ninja, and I want to be ninja.
yeah.
So that's why I started. So that was my goal in the beginning, to be a black belt in ninjutsu, the ninja way, and I did it. So
Yeah. And then you kept
after
collecting
that,
stuff.
and after that, I start to fight in jiu-jitsu, and today I'm a black belt, 4th degree in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, 3rd degree in ninjutsu, and and 1st degree in like karate. Like, you
The what, if I may ask, what karate style?
Shotokan. I
Shotokan.
started when
Oh,
I was a kid,
that's
and and
classic.
also today I've like I'm instructor in Krav Maga also, so everything together. I'm gonna mix it, and I'm gonna do the new Batman movie, the new Batman fighting style.
That'll be ABC. Here's the Warner Brothers. Here's the offer. You have an expert fighter in many martial arts. Go.
I love Batman also.
Yes. Also hire me. We'll talk behind the scenes about the comics. What would be better? Okay. Well, before we go, is there anything that you would? Where can people find you online?
Me and the Instagram, Haim Gozali, the same, like you read in Facebook, also Haim Gozali, Twitter, Haim Gozali, everything is Haim Gozali, other name with it, just Haim Gozali. And you can find me over there.
Listen, thank you very much for your time. That was a lot of fun. It's not
Thank
often
you.
I get to talk to a Batman fan who also knows about fighting. In comic book stores, sometimes I want to go mad when I bring up the subject, and I realize it's a big mistake, not the right crowd. So this was a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.